Good evening, everybody. Okay. Good evening, everybody. I'm Joan Berger. I'm the board liaison, along with my co-liaison, Ken Schnitzer, wave Ken, to the painting task force. Today is my day to be facilitator of the town hall. Ken gave up the job after 2 town halls. Okay, I'd like to introduce the co-chairs of the painting task force, Cindy Limesider and Carol Greenberg, who are the organizers. Hi, girls. And they are the organizers of this town hall meeting. Go ahead, Cindy and Carol.
So I would like to introduce you to our task force. They are Steve Aberback. If you're there, say hi.
Hi.
Hermine Aronson. Barbara Ginsberg. Merritt Newmark.
Hi.
And Mike Smith. And back to you, Cindy.
Thank you. We are here tonight to inform you and discuss with you the painting process, why we chose RCI as our painting company, and why we feel that it's important for all of you and everybody in the community to understand what's going to be happening very shortly, going through the process of painting the entire community. I do want to explain some things as to why we chose RCI, because we actually looked at and investigated 6 painting companies very thoroughly. We interviewed them several times. We went out to over 20 communities to look at their work. We spoke to property managers and residents of other communities where they were recently painted, perhaps in the past 3 years. And we noticed a very big difference when RCI was the painting company on the projects. The detail work was done beautifully. The colors were strong when they were done, like in Valencia Reserve. They were done a little while ago, but they still look as bright today as ever. So we were looking for somebody who did a great job, wasn't sloppy, the details were impeccable. Their pricing was good. That wasn't the #1 factor, but the quality of the work was so outstanding. There was no question to us when we got 5 bids back that RCI was the company to go with, and that's why we chose them. And they will be talking to you. I do want to clarify one thing I said last time, that we were not the only community that doesn't have to pay extra for the painting. We do pay for painting as part of our dues, our HOA dues, but the boards in the past, I don't know, maybe 8 years, have set up a fund, a painting fund, so that when it came time to paint, the money would be available for painting. And therefore, we were unable to say to our people, you have to pay, like almost every other community, between $350 and $600 extra for your paint. If you need a second coat, if you wanted a change of color, whatever it was, the actual covering of the cost of the painting is through the HOA painting reserves. So if RCI deems, and they're the only ones that can deem it necessary, if you need a second coat, you will not be charged extra. That will be coming from the painting fund. So we want to be sure that everything is a great job. No extra money had to come out of your pockets for this, and everybody is pleased with the job they do. We spoke to homeowners that had their homes painted already as sample homes. Everyone was very pleased. If there was a little issue, they came back immediately to fix it. They've already inspected half the homes and the other half will be inspected sometime next year, closer to when they'll be painted. So we are absolutely delighted with our choice. The board listened to the all the information we gathered from the task force. They evaluated it with us, and it was a unanimous decision that RCI was the best company for us, and we are very pleased to have RCI as our painting company. We have a very detailed evening tonight with information, so listen carefully, take notes if you have to. You can go on to channel 63 and you can go on to the website, Bellagio HOA website, and all the information on painting is there for you. So you can print out lists and all the details that you need in the future in case you forget. The forms will be there. It's all set up and it's all working. And also the taping of the last meeting about the paint colors is on there. So if you want to watch it, you can watch it on channel 63 on the TV, or you can go on the website and watch it in case you missed that meeting. So Carol, I'm going to turn it over to you next.
I think that you covered most of what I was going to say. So I'm just going to go ahead and introduce Wilmer Andrade as the sales manager of RCI, and Claudio Dessa, who's the vice president. And we're so happy to have you here tonight. So we're going to turn it over back to Joan, who's going to outline the rest of the evening for you.
Okay, welcome Claudio and Wilmer. Great to have you here. I know this is new for you and you've never participated in anything like this before. You can have a real charge out of this, I assure you.
I've done it a couple of times this year, you know.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Okay, Carol and Cindy are going to be discussing things with you about questions that are already on the website, frequently asked questions. But we will take questions from you on the painting process only, not on what color paint you should use or what palette switches you wanted to make or anything like that. It's the process of the painting only. And that is why Claudio and Wilmer are here to answer those kinds of questions. After they will give a brief talk in a moment on their process, they'll share that with you. Then Davika is going to read the submitted questions for Ken and myself to answer. And if we don't have an adequate answer, we will defer to Claudio and Wilmer. Somebody has to mute.
Selena.
Selena, mute.
Selena,
Thank
you
you. Then Davika is going to give you a brief tutorial on how to fill out the paint request submission form. So you'll have absolutely no question. It's not a hard form. It's really simple, but we felt we'd like to show it to you, and Davika will go through it with you. And then she will share a timeline of the dates for submission for each pod when your form will have to be in by. Okay, so with no further ado, I'm going to introduce Claudio Dessa, the Vice President of RCI. Take it away, Claudio.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. I'm very happy to be here, and very happy to hear the reason why RCI is going to be working on this beautification of your community, and I'm proud to be a part of it. Okay. I worked for RCI for 22 years. RCI is a paint company that's been in business for the past 34 years, owned by one person only. And I've been working with him. I learned a lot, most of what I know in the business today. And I'm glad that I'm always able to deliver what we sell to our customers, okay? I'd like to give you guys just like the process, how we're going to do things, because I see some questions coming up on this scope of work. So basically the scope of work will go like this. We will sanitize all the houses. prior to power wash it, okay? Sanitize will kill all the mold, mildew, algae, okay? Homeowner is not responsible for that, we are. We'll remove everything in order for us to start the preparation for the paint. The surface needs to be spot clean, very nice clean, removing all the dirt, the mold, mildew, algae, remove cobwebs, you know, we go in the patio, wash the ceiling, we mask the fan, we'll be careful with everything. And then we power wash the houses, okay? The pressure they'll use is between 2,500 to 3,500, and the nozzle is always adjustable. There's some areas with foam we have to slow down the pressure so it won't cause damage, okay? And then we power wash the whole house. After we power wash everything, we wait until it dries, and we start working with the caulking around the windows, sliding doors, front door, garage doors, waterproofing the decorative bands, the decorative medallions. We caulked everything, water spigots, electrical outlets, you know, we put a bit of caulking around everything. They call it waterproofing process. After we finish caulking again, we'll wait until it dries everything. So we'll mask the windows with plastic to avoid overspray to get into in the glasses and then cause a problem. And after we mask everything, we apply 1 coat of sealer in the whole house. Okay, the sealer is the primer. The sealer will kill the chalky on the houses, and that will give me adhesion for my painting, and the paint will hold on to it. If you don't prime the houses, if you don't kill the chalky, the paint will fall off soon, you know? So preparation, priming, sealing, it's important. After we do that, we will look for cracks around the house. Settlement crack, there is 3 different sizes, and each sizes require different processes of filling them up, you know? We will take care of it. We use elastomeric compound to fill all the cracks. And we'll finish the patching of the cracks. We start the painting. We spray and back roll the paint on the walls. Garage doors and front door and gutters, we sprayed only. And the rest of the trim we do by a little roller. And after we finish painting the houses, we start the processing of inspection, cleaning, to make sure that prior to a final inspection, UCI will come on site, make sure they will apply the right amount of paint, give all of us reports, and touch up here, clean up here. After we're sure 100% that the house is clean and done and ready for inspection, we'll communicate with the association. This house is ready for inspection. We set inspection and make sure that everything is 100% done. And besides that, you're gonna have on-site supervision, 100% full-time. Rafael is the designated supervisor, been working the company for at least 15 years. Really good man, humble, he listens to the problem. He's interested in taking care of the problem and trying to reach full satisfaction of the homeowner. Unfortunately, can't please everybody, but I've been trying, will always try, always will. And the average, it's very good. And I'm more than happy again to be here. And that's basically the painting process.
Thank you, Claudia. That was very, very clear. Wilmer, do you have anything you'd like to add to that? People have to see your face too.
Hello, how you doing, everybody?
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Thank you, thank you. No, Claudio, pretty much he covers everything, you know, the whole process, what we're doing. And I just want to say thank you guys for having us over here tonight and, you know, for the opportunity to work with the community. We are very, thank you for that, you know.
Super. Okay, now we're going to start our questions and you're going to be the focal point of those questions, okay? Davika, are you ready to read the submitted questions from email submissions first?
Yeah, and then just one quick thing before they start doing the power washing and sanitizing, you take pictures and videos, correct?
Correct, yes.
That is also part of the
We use the
process.
phone today. We take if there is anything major that the supervisor will find it, he will report it to the VIC in our office. And before we start anything, we make sure that the homeowner knows that we didn't cause that. Very once in a while, there is a crack in windows from settlement or a stone from the landscaping, and the homeowner doesn't know there is a crack. So we'll make sure that if we find it, we'll report it. So minimizing a lot of people getting upset, you know. And anything
Tavika,
else, broken screen, bent screen, dent door and stuff like that, you know. We're having on videotape.
Tavika, could you please share the process of how people will find out if something on their house needs to be repaired after RCI has done their inspection?
So RCI will call the office and let us know, and then we will call the resident and pass that along. And then they can either decide, yes, we want to fix it, if it's something has to be fixed with RCI, or they can choose to get it done with a company of their choice. Okay. First question is from Joel Cohen. Will the painters be able to paint the gray flooring area only on the outside of the house, which area meets the garage door? If it is not included, can we obtain a community price for the small area to be painted?
They're talking about, Claudio, as our garage floor passes under the garage door itself, there's a little
Yes.
apron. They're talking about
It's an
that.
apron, yes. That needs to be painted with concrete stain. It cannot be painted with regular paint. One thing that it could be done if there is any homeowner that would like to do that, Raphael is gonna be on site. He can get in touch with Raphael. And if the homeowner prefer, Raphael can do that as a side job, you know, unless the whole community wants a price for it's same size, most of them, you know, all of them actually. We can come up with a price for the garage door apron.
Okay.
I think that's a case by case
Yeah, we'll
basis.
let you know on that.
Yeah,
Okay, you let me know.
thank you.
All right, Lorna Vaughn, I'd like to know if we contract to have the hurricane tracks filled in at our cost, will the finish be smooth or similar to the existing stucco color?
We can fill up the hoses for the track. You're gonna see imperfection, but we're trying to imitate the existing stucco as much as we can.
Next is from Susan Sternberg. Will the front gate and or the overhead rails be painted automatically, or is this something we can request to have done through the supervisor? I'm assuming she's talking about that Giovanni model.
Yes,
the
you
front
can
gate.
request that to the supervisor as well as the apron on the garage door.
Yeah, you've already come up with a price for the gates
Yes, we did.
that your company would paint the Giovanni only, that model only, the gates for $135.
Yes,
And that
we
would
Correct.
be a cost to the homeowner.
Yes.
But the rails are automatically painted, correct? The
Rails
color
are
trim?
painted, yeah.
All right, this is from Carolyn Hihack with their 5 questions. Are we responsible to fill all nail holes?
No, the nail holes is like this. The homeowner, if we see nail holes, especially in the patio area, we usually don't fill them up unless the homeowner requested, because sometimes the homeowner removes everything, including the nails. And we'll go over there, we'll patch it. And there were so many complaints in the past, the RCI covered my nail holes and I can't find the hose anymore. So we end up have to go back and drill new hoses, okay? If the homeowner is not going to hang anything back, they should let RCI know to cover the nail hoses.
Okay, the front door has a couple of areas where the paint has chipped off. Do they repair this for free?
Paint and peeling will be sanded down, prime and repainted at no cost. That's part of the scope of work. Unless it's a different defect that the whole paint on the door it's peeling, we'll report to the association and the homeowner and explain to them what's going on.
Okay, that answers questions 3 and 4, Carol. And then number 5, does newly applied stucco need to be treated prior to painting?
It needs to be primed with a hot stucco primer before painting. It's a different than
question.
sealer.
Next question for Marilyn Koplick. Does the area between the screen and inside window of our kitchen get painted? We live in the Levitt Massimo model. The last time, about 8 years ago, the painters did paint inside and did not do a good job. Half was painted, half was not. Will the painters be leaving us a can of paint that covers the stucco?
We are going to leave a can of paint for the homeowner, one pint of each color. But the window around, every window around between the shutters and the windows, it will be painted. If we miss anything, just report it. We'll come back and take care of it. We'll make sure you get 100% covered.
Christine Bice says, my question is, will there be a form available to fill out, such as name, address, pallet number, and where do we submit? We'll be covering that next section of this meeting. Ann Cantor said, I have several large chips missing paint and down to the raw concrete. I called RCI for a report of the condition of my house, and they advised I showed no preconditions that I had to be treated. Will these missing old paint conditions be taken care of?
Most likely it will be since areas like that where the weed whacker from the landscape on the side of the house chip off some of the paint, it will be taken care of. It will be patched, primed, and paint.
With respect to outdoor furniture in my screened-in area, does the furniture have to be removed or just covered? Do plantings have to be removed also?
Everything in life today is liability. Okay, we ask to remove if it's possible. If there is a very extended screened area, it can be removed toward the screen, but again, everything's liability, and RCI cannot be responsible for something that happened over there. We drag hoses, we drag tape, drop cloths, step ladders, and equipment. So here and there is someone complaining that I pushed my table, now I have a broken leg or something like that. If it's possible, to be removed out of the patio, put inside the house for a couple of days.
What about hurricane shutters? Are they to be covered or protected?
No, we'll take care of that. Part of the masking process, inside and out.
Michael Minsky asks, house inspection started 6 weeks ago on September 8th. Has it been completed? And if so, when and how will the homeowner be notified if there is or is not a repair that needs to be addressed? So they inspected up to IB, I believe, pod IB, and we have already started the process of notifying residents. Pods A and K were notified already. I've been working with Wilmer's office, and we've called all the residents who did not call their office. Right now, pods B and J are in the middle of calling RCI for their inspection information. So we're trying to do it at a pod level so we can control the influx of people calling their office. So your turn will be coming up in about a couple weeks, 2 more weeks of B and J, then we'll move to C, and then so on and so forth. And that's how we're proceeding. Ann Moskovitz says, I'm not going to be back in Bellagio until January. So is there something I should be doing about choosing paint colors? Is there any requirement for preparation by a gardener or anyone else?
I have something to say. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hold on
go
one-
ahead.
Go ahead.
Remember, tell them that the rest of the inspection is not going to be done until April next year.
Correct.
So people does not waiting,
And also there will be a requirement as far as the gardening situation. Your bushes that are against the house wall will need to be trimmed approximately 6 to 8 inches away from the wall. Whatever else can be pulled back, I think you use ropes or big cardboard things to push them back away from the wall, but there will be a basic trimming by Top Cut.
And if you have a private gardener, it will become their responsibility to trim back, because Top Cut will not go on to a property that isn't theirs to cut, okay? Please keep that in mind. If you have a private gardener, like a week before your house is due to be painted, or week, 10 days, have them trim back the bushes, tie them back, whatever it has to be done. And then as soon as your house is painted, you can release it. You could put it back.
And as far as the people who are not in town and are thinking they will have a problem picking their colors, we have posted some beautiful photos, thank you Sharon Cook, of the houses before, and then they morph, and you see the house after it was painted. So you can see the really true colors. And I don't think you're going to have too much of a problem selecting those colors. There are also the palettes individually presented on the website. I think there's enough of a choice there that you will be able to get a good idea.
All right, I'll take the chat questions now.
Yeah.
The first question from Jerry is a paint palette question. So we are not taking those questions at this
No.
meeting.
No.
The next question is, currently my front door is peeling. Is the paint company going to scrape? And yes, he just went through that process, Nina, that they will be taking care of that. When will the painting schedules be available? I'll be discussing that very shortly. Next question, how to know,
That with my
how do
house,
I know
my
that my
land-
house with my landscape will look as good as the sample houses with the color palettes that I pick? That's another paint question.
Yeah.
For those of us who will have RCI perform repairs to the fascia boards, please provide info as how to send them our payment, address, and any other identifying info needed. Roy, you're supposed to call RCI directly. We're not going to send that information out with our emails because it makes it seem like the resident must go with RCI. That is not the case. You can get that information, what they found on your inspection. They will be happy to meet with you. However, it is your choice ultimately who you decide to go with. So we're not going to include that information on any emails. Call the RCI office. If you're interested in going with them, they will tell you how to make that payment. Marilyn Klein, did Pod D get inspected yet? No, not yet, Marilyn. It will be done next April, like Wilmer just said. Several areas of our home and heavy mold algae on the stucco. They just talked about that, and they will be sanitizing prior to power washing. That's the painting company is going to take care of that. I'm new here and not totally familiar with what pod my home is in. Is there a list available on the different streets and the pods? If you look on your directory in that colored map, I think it's page 7 or something like that, you will see the street names, and next to it in brackets, it tells you what pod you're in, and the map also indicates this. We have a painted mural on one wall and do not want it painted or treated at all. How do we ensure that the mural is left unscathed? Claudia, I'll let you take that one.
Yes, the first thing when they receive a note on the garage door, notifying them that we are about to start on your house on the painting project, the supervisor name will be on the letter, and the office name will be posted on the letter as well. You can contact one of us, either the office or the supervisor, and make sure to tell them that you have a mural on your back patio or on anywhere in the house that you don't want painted. And the supervisor will make sure that will match the area where will not be painted.
What about protection for our garden trees and plants from the painting process?
That it's automatically on the painting project will be covering the window, covering lights, covering shrubbery as necessary, because some shrubberies you cannot cover for too long because it cause damage to the trees. And but as we go, we will make sure that everything will be covered and then no paint will get onto the landscape or lights or anywhere else.
All right, Harold, these are sample paint homeowners. Raphael Paint Manager was wonderful and very helpful when they painted our sample house. It was a wonderful experience. Thank you, RCI.
Thank you.
How do we deal with hurricane shutters?
Hurricane shutters on our part, it's part of the scope of work of us masking inside and out. So no paint is going to get to the hurricane shutters. And one thing also, if the hurricane shutter is closed, we're not going to open them, because sometimes it's been open for so many years and some homeowner never opened them, and we're trying to open them to paint the areas around the windows, and we damaged them because they were brittle inside on the hinges. So if your RCI sees closed hurricane shutters, we will report to the association, but we will not open the shutters unless the homeowner authorizes us and signing a release of responsibility.
Is there
So
a charge? Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Just make sure that when they receive a note on the garage door, make sure that all the shutters are open for us.
Is there a charge for filling the holes? This goes back
For
to
the-
the question with the walls and the whole.
Yeah, for the hose on the patio, regular nail hose, it will not be a charge. Only for the hurricane, for the hurricane shutter that were removed and the homeowners install impact windows, there'll be an extra charge to fill up with the stock with those hoses around the house.
Are our compressors protected?
A what?
The AC
Yeah.
compressors, I'm guessing?
Yes. Well, the thing is,
generator.
the AC cannot be covered, okay? Because once you cover them, especially on the summer, okay, you're causing heat underneath. It will burn the unit, okay? So what we do, we cover everything around, and then we'll make sure that by the time that we're doing the area around the compressor, we'll make sure we go careful around, but cover them. It's not one thing that we are able to do because we caused damage before.
My model is Giovanni, the gate and wood on top. What part of the painting is that? So the wood will be your trim color. The gate, you can ask that it be painted in an additional $135, I believe.
Correct, yes.
As an owner of a sample home, we can testify to Raphael's professionalism and abilities. Great job. If they are taking videos and/or photos, will the painting contractor send the video and/or photos to homeowners who live out of state?
We've never done it, but if it is requested, if we find something that needs to be reported, we can send to the, first of all, send to the association, and then if we send to the homeowners for a report, make sure that they understand there was damage there.
Is there any outdoor furniture that must be put away in the garage?
Like I said before, I prefer to have all the furniture from the patio moved out of the patio and be put inside the house or inside the garage.
Sherman, I didn't see a question here. It just says from Sherman, so you may want to retype your question. Nancy writes, the design over the garage has crisscrosses on it on many houses. Will they be painted a different color? Oh, this is really a paint question, not really for this meeting.
Right.
What is the process for selecting the specific paint color? Can we select a combination of wall colors? Okay, so no, that's another paint question. What does an out of area homeowner must do before you begin?
Repeat that for me, Devika, please.
What does an out of area homeowner must do before you begin?
Just if the homeowner is not there, if sometimes they have a housekeeper, ask the housekeeper to remove personal items from the walls, unlock the screen on the back cage, and if it's possible, to empty the patio and roll up some tiles and put by the front doors and windows if it's possible.
Are we responsible for covering the patio floor?
No, we are.
Sherman writes, be careful when painting the garage apron. For Ansca Homes, garage floors were stained with xylene stain, not concrete paint. Though we do not mix it all, you must use same stain or remove, and then you can use the concrete paint.
Okay, concrete stain comes in various of material, water-based, xylene-based, epoxy base. So originally it was painted with xylene base and xylene based concrete stain. That's the same thing we're going to be using.
Okay, next, will the top rails in the Giovanni be painted at this? Yes, it's going to be painted. It will be the same as your trim color. Many of us have glass inserts in our front doors which cannot be power washed. Do we have to make special arrangements with you?
Well, when you see the inserts on the front doors, okay, we usually, in every front door, we don't go crazy with the power washing. Well, most likely the door will be hand cleaned and painted, but we lightly rinse them off, you know. We make sure we know about the inserts, and we'll make sure that we will not go crazy around the insert with power washing.
I have cameras installed on the exterior of my home. Will you work around them?
We'll power wash around them to make sure that the water will not get close to cause damage to it. And well, before we paint, we'll mask them all with a masking paper, make sure we won't get any paint on it.
All right, Lana, that's a paint question. We're not discussing paint at this meeting. Pat says, what if there's rust on the bottom of the door?
Rust will be treated, okay? And we'll treat them with acid, we'll scrape it off, we'll prime them with a very strong galvanized primer, okay? And we will paint them again. But at the bottom of the door, if the rust is there, it's because it's coming from inside out. And within time, chances are that we are going to see the rust popping out again. But it will be treated.
Martin asks, where are the photos posted? We have photos posted right now on the Bellagio website. That's BellagioHOA.com.
Tell them what drop menu. it's
Resident
under.
resources, and then you hit paint project. And then if you go under there, there's lots of information. There's the last town hall, before and after pictures, the sample submission forms, the color palette selection. There's a lot of information there.
Davika, you skipped Marcia and Mike Resnick's.
Oh, thank you. How long is the process from the cleaning to completion?
Okay. Our schedule usually is going to be weather permitting. Whatever house we start working on Monday, by Friday and Saturday, those houses will be done. So basically, if we start working on your house on Monday, expect it to be finished by Friday. If it start raining too much, we'll report to the association, and the association will report to the homeowners.
Can you please give us RCI's number? The number is being emailed individually to each pod when you can call in to get your report. Where can we view the photos that Sharon has put together? That is on the Bellagio website, BellagioHOA.com.
And you don't have to log in order to see it. You can just click on the paint project without logging in.
Thank you, ma'am. I want to replace my light. Should I do it before or after painting?
Replace the light, it could be done if it's possible to make arrangements with the supervisor. Okay, reason being is the base of the lights today, when you buy a new light, it's smaller than the original from the builders. I'll say in every community is the same thing. They remove, even if you're buying a big light, the base of it is smaller. So better off if you make arrangements with Raphael when he's on site. Hey, Raphael, I got the notes and I want to remove. You get the electrician to remove plug it in, we paint the area. And when the electrician will install back, it'll be painted around. So we don't have to come back and do touch ups and take any risk of getting paint on your lights and stuff like that. Better off to do in according with Raphael.
If we do not live there all year, how would we know if there's a note on the garage? You're gonna get pod specific emails letting you know when they will be starting. So you're gonna know when you're in your pod. I would suggest that you ask your neighbors, or if you have a house sitter, to check on this. So this way you're in the know. Maris goes from sanitized to power wash. So we just talked about that Monday to Friday to Saturday. Will RCI help us move heavy table from the patio into the house?
Oh, I'm not gonna say no. Okay, Raphael is there, and if the person doesn't have a help, I don't think Raphael would say no to a person. He cannot be responsible to move everything again. Anything is liability. You know, if he gets hurt moving the heavy stuff, also it's liability for us. So he will be able to help here and there, but it cannot be specified that Raphael and RCI is going to help everybody. You know.
I think you're better off if you find a very strong neighbor, or or get yourself a handyman for just an hour or so, and that might
Correct.
help you out better.
I heard Ken was available. What is the website? Again, BellagioHOA.com. Our windows and doors have been replaced with impact windows, doors, and are no longer using hurricane panels. Will RCI patch fill in the channel grooves during the prep as part of this process, or is it a cost item? This
As
will
we
be a
spoke,
cost.
it will be an extra cost for the stucco on the old channels and old screws holes.
We have an awning over the master bedroom window. Does it have to be removed?
The awning doesn't have to be removed. RCI will be responsible with masking of the awning.
If I have sliding windows on my lanai, I am under the impression my patio will not be painted.
The sliding doors, every patio has sliding doors. It will be painted.
I think Claudio
She
is
has-
talking about an enclosed patio with glass instead of
Okay,
mesh.
yes. It becomes a part of the interior of the house, so most likely will not be painted.
Can your company remove pins by the transom over the front door?
Like Christmas pins, or what kind of pins, you know? If it's something,
I'm assuming
Something-
it's the shutter pins that used to be there. You know how they have the pins?
the old
Over the-
screws, yeah. Again, you know, if it's not something big that Raphael can go and remove for the homeowner, he'll be able to accommodate them.
What are the normal workday hours on a given house? What time will the crew start each morning, and when will they quit for the day?
The schedule of RCI working in the community will be Monday to Friday, Monday to Saturday. You know, your community more specifically is going to be Monday to Saturday. We usually the 8 to 5, 8 to 6, let's say 8 to 6, Monday to Friday, and 8 to 4 on Saturdays.
How do we inform RCI that nail holes need to be filled? They were just called Raphael, correct?
Yes, just mention to
Or your
Raphael
office?
that please plug those hoses and we'll take care of it.
After hearing the representative speak and his being so knowledgeable, I feel so much more confident of being in good hands.
Thank you.
Will RCI protect my pool?
The pool doesn't need to be protected or covered or anything like that.
How many houses are started at one time?
According to our meetings, we specified that we're going to be working around 13 to 15 homes a week. Sometimes it might be less, sometimes it'll be a little more. It depends on the weather, you know, it's too hot, we have to slow down because we could cause dehydration on the painters, you know, like on the winter, it will go a little faster, you know, and but roughly 13 to 15 homes per week.
This is cute. Do the crew members prefer bagels or Danish for snacks?
They'll eat anything.
You power wash our, I don't understand, for you power wash our shutters and our screens? I think, do you power wash our shutters and screens?
Then now the shutters, we don't power wash them again. Anything that we can do with the 3,500 PSI on the shutters, you know, we could cause damage to it. So basically we just go around the shutters on the inside to power wash the little stucco that goes around the window. And if any dirt gets on the shutters, we'll lightly rinse them off, not go with the pressure on the shutters.
Can the outdoor furniture be moved away from the house but remain in the lanai?
Again, if you have a very extended patio that would not interfere with the processing, again, we don't want to cause any damage, but it could be liability for us. You know, we don't want to be responsible for. But yes, in a way, if the patio is extended, we can push it toward the screen.
May I suggest that if you are pushing it farther back to the far end, the lake end of the patio, that you buy some inexpensive plastic tarps and just cover your furniture with the tarps, and then you'll feel more secure.
We have screws on our front doors that were for our metal shutters. We installed a pull-down screen. The screw holes are with jackets. Will they be filled?
We have to look at it if it's something that we can do, you know.
Our enclosed patio was painted last time, so I'm expecting that it will be done again. Please tell me that I am correct. It will be empty.
The enclosed screen, yes, it will be painted.
Can we
But it
just
might be
move?
enclosed with glass. We don't know. That person has to specify.
Correct, yes.
I don't believe they have a glass enclosure. I know who that is.
The screened in, yes, just make sure the doors are unlocked.
Can we just move outdoor furniture from house? Yes, he said if it's large enough and out of the way, you can. Can the power washing water run into my pool and on my back patio?
No,
Is the process of painting a roller or power spray?
spray and roller.
How many supervisors will be on duty?
On duty is going to be Raphael. He's the only supervisor on site. And you have me, you have Wilma. There could be if we require.
Will the outdoor window frames be painted?
No,
Oh, I was wrong. There's a difference. He has a glass with doors on both ends. So that won't be painted. That was the patio he was talking about.
it won't be painted.
Can someone post on the website the phone numbers to call for resolving different issues? Jan, your first phone call should always be to the front desk and we will help you get whatever you need resolved. And that's the end of my questions.
Okay, Davika, so we've got a lot answered. That was really very thorough, very complete. Thank you, Claudia and Wilmer. Davika is now going to give you a very brief tutorial on filling out the submission forms, and she'll share the timelines of the dates that you need to submit them.
All right, let's start. So the first thing I want to share with you guys is this. We talked about last time that I would be creating a quote unquote Bible for all the residents to go by. This document has been checked and double checked for accuracy. So this is what we're going off of. This will be emailed to all residents along with the color submission form. If you pick this up at the front desk, this will be on one side of the color submission form, the color submission form on the other. So if you pay attention, you have the pallet numbers, the letter it corresponds to, the SKU number, and the name of the color, along as with what it can be used for, trim body, body trim color. The ones that you need to pay particular attention to is palette number 4 and palette number 6. Both of those have a B1 and a B2. So when selecting, you need to put either B1 or B2 for palette 4, and the same goes for palette 6. This document, I believe, is already on the website, but if it's not, I will make sure that it is. The second form we're going to talk about is the submission form for house painting. I went ahead and filled out a submission form, just like I would as if I was living at the clubhouse. And just a disclaimer, this is not the color choice of the clubhouse. This is me picking the first palette, so don't get started with that. So palette number 1 is the choice. We selected letter B. This was the SKU number. Then we went ahead and wrote the name. So there's no issues. We're all on the same page. I know exactly what I'm doing. I did the same thing for the trim, the letter, the SKU number, and the name. Garage door, letter number, SKU, the name. Front door, the same thing. After that, I put my name, my address. I put my phone number and my email address. I signed it and I dated it. So this is what a complete form should look like. So,
And the disclaimers, Davika?
yes, ma'am, I'm getting to that. So the disclaimers on here is if you select a dark color garage door and it fades within 4 years, the contractor will repaint it at a cost of $50 if they have a minimum of 10 homes who want to sign up. Or if you don't want to wait to get 10 homes, you can do it for $125 for your home. It includes paint and labor. The courtyard gates for the Giovanni model can be painted at the owner's cost of $135, paid directly to the contractor. The gate may be painted in white only, material and labor included. Multi-pane side and rear French doors are not painted as part of the association agreement. The homeowner may request of the contractor to paint these doors at a price to be determined at the time the contractor inspects the home. Payment for the repainting will be the responsibility of the homeowner to the contractor. Contractor's quote will include material and labors. So this is the form that you will be submitting to me. And then as you bring these in, we're going to start this process beginning November 1. This is my timeline here. So beginning November 1, pods A will be dropping the forms off at the front desk. When you're dropping them off, we will be reviewing the color boards with you and signing off on them. Then it will come to the back office where we will start inputting them into the spreadsheet. Once we have a pod completed, we can then finalize your color choice because we have to look up the closing dates from any resident if there are any next to each other that have the same colors. If there are no issues, let's just say nobody picked the same color as their neighbor, there are no issues, you will then be emailed a confirmation along with your color selection page saying approve, and you will have a copy for yourself and I will keep my copy. And that will conclude the process. So here we are, pods A, November 1, your deadline will be December 7th. We're giving just a little bit more time for pods A and K, just because I know a lot of residents will be coming in after Thanksgiving. So we're kind of trying to be open-minded here. And then we just follow the schedule every 3 weeks, November 15th, December 6th, December 7th, and it's listed here. It will be in the order that it's painted. So it's A, K, B, J, C, I, A, I, B, D, H, E, G, and F. So this will be posted on the website tomorrow, and I will go ahead and I will also email this out to you guys as well tomorrow so you have a copy of it. And I think that concludes me, Joan.
Okay, and I see that this has produced a few more questions in the chat box. If you'd like to, check on the ones.
I got it. Okay, so when will work begin on Pod A homes? January 17th is the date. Do we have to check what the paint colors my neighbor chooses? I guess that's really up to you if you want to decide what your neighbor chooses. However, remember, if you and your neighbor both pick color palette 4, for instance, if you choose, let's see, you choose your trim as Castle Walk, and then they pick their trim as white, you'll be able to keep the same palette number as long as there's different variation in the palette. The question, I think this goes to Claudio, do we need to remove our window screens?
No,
Would you please post the recording of this meeting up on HOA website? Yes, we will be posting this meeting online. When will the color choice form be posted rather than the sample form? The forms will go out in pod selection. So on November 1, it's going to be emailed only to pod A. Then it will be emailed to pod K on November 15th. So we're trying to control the influx of forms because we want to handle it pod by pod. Because if I'm getting 1,099 forms, it's going to be difficult to go through. So we're trying to do it in a way that we can be organized and have it in a controlled manner. Well, the color choice, well, that's the same question. That's all the questions I have. Does anybody have any questions? You could raise your hand. Can we pay to have the gate to our pool painted?
make arrangements with Raphael.
Okay,
When he's on
Rona?
site.
Okay, I was a little unclear, didn't exactly understand what Claudia was saying about if you want to replace your lights. Exactly the time frame. I was a little confused on the outside if we want to replace the lights.
I think he means to replace it prior to the painting because the hole that usually the base of the light is much smaller. If it's smaller, then you're going to need paint around the base of it. So I think
Yeah,
he was trying to say before.
I kind of thought he said that you have the light, but don't put it up till after it's painted. I was very unclear. Yeah.
Okay, let me explain to you guys again, okay? Coordinate with Raphael, okay? To my opinion, it's best to remove a day before we start working and install it a day after we finish painting the walls.
Okay, now it makes
That way,
sense.
the back is covered, no touch-ups will be done, you know, and we have a brand new lights.
And let me add, if you're going to change your coach lamps during this
Right.
process, make sure you fill out an ARC short form, please.
Will our back French doors an 8-panel and back door from our kitchen to patio be painted?
All right, the French doors, Ken, could you answer that because you have a similar
Oh,
situation?
the French doors, if it's a single pane of glass, your French door in the surround will be painted. If you have, what do they call them, mullions? What?
Mullions.
Multi-panel.
If you have multi-panel inserts in the window, no, he will not do that unless you do a special request through the company. It's not part of the contract to do them.
All right, so we also have on the sides of those are these side lights. But there's no mullions in any of them. So the side lights will be painted as well? The side glass?
By the front door, yes.
No, the back door.
Back door.
I have
If
back.
we previously painted, it will be painted.
Yes, it was previously painted, yes.
Correct, yes.
Thank you. Unmute. I mean,
When will they start the paint job after the form is submitted? So we're collecting the form in the office and we have to create a spreadsheet so they know how much paint to order for your pod. So it depends on how far along they are, whether, because we don't have this pod's gonna be completed by this date because you just don't know with weather, correct, Claudia?
Okay, I didn't understand the question, if you could repeat it for me, please.
When will they start the paint job after the form is submitted?
We're going to follow according to the schedule. The form is submitted. We scheduled to start on January 17th, right?
Correct.
So the form, we on schedule for January 17th.
Yeah.
That's the only
Okay.
day you know, that's the only date you know for sure. You don't know
That's it.
what date you're gonna finish pot A and start
No,
pod.
that's difficult because
Right.
we work with the weather, you know, and always gonna be a house more, a house less, you know, it's hard, especially the first week, you know, to make sure that with the next part, the middle of the next part, one of those houses will be done. You know, the best thing that I would say to do is like, if the homeowner is on site, drive around once in a week and you see how the project is going, how the production is going, that you can see us getting towards the house, you know, and Raphael could be giving them, or they stop by asking Raphael, hey, Raphael, roughly when you get into the next street and stuff like that, you know, but specifically it's very difficult.
But you'll still
Sheila
have the
Gross?
note, you'll still have the note on the garage to tell them
Yeah.
your
Well,
house is
yeah,
your next.
we're posting notes, yeah, for sure. At
All
least
right,
3 days
Gross, you
before.
have that little hand up, Sheila? Yeah, unmute, Sheila, unmute. Do you know how to unmute?
Okay, while she unmutes, I'll go to the next question. If
Armine
we
had his
pay
hand
you
up.
for
there.
it, will you be willing to paint the indoor of the front door?
The window, there's window
The
frames on the front.
indoor of the front door. So the inside of the front door.
He can make arrangements with Raphael.
Okay.
You
We
going
just
to-
said,
Are you going to cover the compressors, the air conditioning compressor?
You already answered that question, Marilyn. He said.
I
he
know,
can't-
but I didn't get it. I was
No,
writing.
he
going-
said he cannot do that because it might damage your compressor.
We're gonna
So
protect
they're
as
not,
best as
but-
we can.
But could we
No.
cover
I
it?
would suggest not. You don't want to damage.
Absolutely
your-
not.
Do not-
Oh, so just leave it alone.
leave it alone.
We're not causing it, no paint's gonna get into it. The air
Okay.
blows out, you know, so
So just
nothing
leave it
will
alone.
go into
Leave it
the
alone,
compressor.
right? Just.
I'm sorry?
I said, we will just leave it alone.
Correct, ma'am, yes, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You mentioned about painting the apron of the garage door at a cost to us. It takes a special paint, but would it be that gray paint or do we get a choice of color?
That's between you, the association to determine. The paint committee should determine what could be done on it.
Yeah, like I said before, we'll get back to you on that one.
okay. Let me finish my questions here and I'll get back to everybody with their hands up. Exceptional presentation. Claudio's response to every question was spot on, thorough, clear, and concise. He's a role model for how to conduct yourself at a congressional hearing. The next one is, when will facial repair by RCI be done in Pod A? Thanks. They started facial repair last week. Actually, Wilmer and I were talking about this today, and he will be getting a report to me tomorrow. Just because they gave you a report doesn't mean everyone is doing the facial repair with RCI. You just need to have your facial repair done prior to the start of the project and then painting your house, which is January 17th.
I think Claudio should also tell the community what happens if you ignore the note that you have fascia damage. If you do not repair your fascia, what's RCI going to do?
The area, we usually, for an example, if you have an area of 1 foot of fascia damage over there, RCI cannot paint the area. RCI cannot paint inside the damaged area, you know? So that foot is going to be skipped by us. We're not going to do anything. And the worst thing is within a very short period of time, that one area is going to only extend it to a bigger area. In the near future, the damage that it's a minimum to cost today will be something bigger than what it is today, financially.
Okay, can we change the colors after the collection form, color selection form is submitted? We would have the opportunity to see the colors on the homes already painted. The answer is no. Once you submit your form, it is final. Are you going to work on pods A and K simultaneously or start on A on January 17th and move to K? We'll be starting in pod A and moving to K. We're in pod K and every neighbor that I've spoken to has had an estimate as to what has to be repaired. I have called numerous times. They have said they will get back to us in 6 weeks. It has now been 8 weeks and I called today and now they said they will get back to us in 2 weeks. We see some things that need repair. Marilyn, if you and I could talk offline and let me know exactly what you need done, then I could let Wilmer know, because they've been very good for the most part about just letting you know if you need any repairs done or making an appointment with them. So if you want, reach out to me tomorrow and I'll be happy to help you. Carmine, you had your hand up for forever. Please unmute.
Okay. Yeah, I have a question, Claudia.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, regarding my house, I have the Portofino. Is there any way I can go online and put the color scheme on my house and see what it looks like?
They have, I seen it, apps that you can work on it, but I don't have any. I don't work with colors in like this. Usually the paint manufacturer do the renderings for us. But I heard there was some apps, but the accuracy, sometimes you get a color from the outside.
Yeah,
so
let
it's
me
not
answer
100%.
that. Let me answer that. Julie Devick of UCI put up a program called a visualizer on the UCI website.
Sorry, Joan.
Give me a pen.
I muted you.
Can you repeat that again, Joan? I'm sorry.
Yes. Okay. UCI has on their website a program called a visualizer.
Okay.
And you can either use standard houses like the one in back of me, which is a standard visualizer house, or you can put up a photo of your own house.
Good.
And colorize it. It's your own house is not as easy to do as this, but Judy has created a tutorial for you that you can play her video and she will walk you through it on the video as to how to do it.
That's good. Thank you for answering.
It's on
I
the
have one
website.
more question. I have one more question, Claudia. We got the report in the email that our house needs a little work. So we called the number and we're still waiting for them to get back. Should I call them again or wait on their
Okay,
answer?
the girls in the office, when they answer the phone, if they did not get back to you, because there is a lot of other homeowners ahead of you, okay? My opinion to you is that wait until mid of next week. If nothing happens, give them a call and they will make sure that to follow up on it. They are following up on it. It's a lot of people calling at the same time. We only have 3 dispatchers, but they're doing a pretty good job on reporting to the homeowners.
Okay, thank you. And you're doing a good job. Joan, you're doing a good job. And Davika, all doing a good job. I know it's tough.
Sheila, do you want to try again? You're unmuted, but I can't hear you.
Get the volume
Can you
down.
hear me? Can you hear me now? No.
Yes, go ahead.
You can hear me now? Yes? Okay. 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 What's the matter with this? Making all kinds of noise. Can you?
That's better.
She's reverberating.
Oh, you're on Bobby and Erwin's iPad, Sheila? That was where the feedback was coming from. I don't hear Eileen now. All right, Mr. Swanger.
Yes, I'd like to ask this question. If there's a small crack on the fascia on the side of the house, can that be caulked before you have it painted?
The wooden fascia has natural cracks on it. The crack has been there since installation. When we paint the house, some of the paint will go inside the crack, it will waterproof most of it. But yeah, it's not something that is part of our scope of working, because the amount of cracks on all the fascias in the community, it's a really good amount of it.
All right, so you won't caulk anything before you do the painting?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Bobby, you had your hand up, and then Marilyn.
Yeah, okay,
Have to
number
call that
one,
for
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
this again.
Okay. Oh, I almost forgot my question. Okay, number one, you said if you have French doors, you will paint around it if it's metal? You will paint the metal around it?
There is two types of French doors in the community. There is some French doors on the sliding, where the sliding door is supposed to be. They will factory finish. Those doors are not to be painted. The French doors, there is one panel French doors in some of the houses. It's like Ken houses, for an example. It was painted before because it was painted from the builders, not a factory. We'll be painting them again. In your case, when time comes to paint your house and Raphael is going to post a note on your garage door, the best thing is to contact Raphael and ask him for a visit to your house, and you show to him the situation, and he will explain to you what's going to be done and what's not going to be done.
Okay, another question was when you power wash, you said you do not power wash the shutters, but do you wash them down?
Rinse them off, yes.
You rinse them off. Okay, question number 3. I sent a check-in because they said that I had fascia board that had to be fixed, and I sent the check-in, but have not heard from them. So they've had my check already for probably a week or so.
Okay.
So what happens at this point? Are they going to call me?
If you send them the check,
I
there
did.
is a schedule on each pod, the schedule that we're going to follow up. Your check will not be cashed until the job is done on your
Okay,
house.
because I am in pod A, which is the first pod that's going to be done.
Yes. They're going to post a note on your door right after the repair is done, notifying you the repair was done, and then they're going to cash the check. Until then, nothing's going to happen to your check. And
I'm not worried about my check. I just want to make sure that it's taken care of.
it will be, yes, you will be, for sure. Okay.
Okay.
If you're concerned that that time comes and you don't know if it was done or not, maybe you missed the notes on your garage door, more than welcome to give our office a phone call, and they will let you know everything what's going on.
Okay. And as far as a question about the color with a certain paint, when I saw the color on the sample house, it was much lighter than.
We are not talking about color
You're not
palettes
going
right
to talk
now.
about it. When are you going to
No,
talk
ma'am.
about it? When are
You
you
can
going to talk about it?
ask us privately, Bobby.
What?
Ask us privately.
Okay, privately. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Bobby.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Marilyn, go ahead.
Unmute yourself, Marilyn.
I could have sworn it was. I have a step as everybody does, from the patio to get into the house. So going from my patio into my family room, I have a chip on that strip. Do I fix it? Do I smooth it down?
Is
I
that
don't.
stone, Marilyn? Is it
What?
stone? Is it concrete stone?
No, it's the stucco.
It's the same stucco as the side of your house,
Correct.
Claudio?
Yes, those steps, what happened in most of them, it's a lot of humidity coming from underneath in between the patio. Okay.
Well, it's not this big.
Yes. Chances are when we power wash, more will come off. If it's a major area that needs stucco repair, we'll report it to you. And if it's something that we can just put a coat of patching and make it look like the stock, we will. Every situation is different. So if there's anything that becomes an area of that we need repair, we will let you know.
So we don't
most
have
of-
to go out and smooth it ourselves?
No.
Oh, okay. And
Okay.
so you'll let me know
Yes, ma'am.
prior to the painting? Okay.
Correct. Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate everything you've done.
Thank you.
Davika, you're muted. You're muted.
Sheila, try to go again. We still can't hear you, Sheila.
No, you have a problem with
Cannot.
the sound.
You're unmuted and we still cannot hear you. You can type in your question. Rona and Carolyn, you guys had your hand up.
Yes,
Rona, go first.
yes, question is about on my lanai, similar to the question about the lights. If I want to replace the fan on my patio, should I do the same thing, or the fan doesn't, like
Same thing.
remove it before? What? That's okay?
Same thing, because there is a cup that covers the electrical. Remove them one day before, let us paint, and then you put the new one right after.
And Ken, do I need to, for that, put in a form for that too?
No,
it's-
because your house is, you have a screened in patio in the back?
Right, right.
That's
And this
part,
would
that,
be,
that becomes part of your footprint. So the answer is no, you do not need an ARC for that patio fan exchange.
okay, thank you.
Carolyn, go ahead.
Carolyn's muted.
Carolyn, you've been talking, but we don't hear you.
About now?
Yes.
Okay. On Pod C, you said the submission is January 10th and the deadline is January 23rd. How far ahead of that date will I hear from Raphael, approximately?
I mean, as far as things needing to be fixed,
Yeah.
Davika, would you know that?
No, because January, okay, so in about 3 weeks, you're gonna get an email letting you know about fascia repairs to call.
Okay.
So that's the only thing that you will have to do at that point, and you should get that email within 2 to 3 weeks. Pod C and IA are the next 2 pods to be called.
Okay, and then if, because I guess what I'm getting at is, it sounds like approximately April, May, they would be painting our Pod C. So
Possibly, we can't tell because of the weather.
I know, but I'm just trying to guess here. I just want to make sure we'll have ample time to get the repairs done that are needed.
Yes, you'll have at least 3 months to get the repairs done, because you're gonna get your report in November. You have December, January, February, March, and that's if they're in your pod by April.
Okay, okay. Thank you. You all have done a fabulous job. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Barbara's
Barbara's-
iPad is her, she had that yellow hand up.
Barbara's iPad? Yeah.
Yeah.
She just has to unmute.
I mute Barbara's iPad too.
I think you took your camera off.
Press the wrong button.
In the meantime, go ahead, Margaret.
We're talking about getting an electrician in the day before for the coach lights and the fans. Does RCI have an electrician, or do we each get our own electricians in?
RCI does not have an electrician. You should get your own electrician.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Oh,
I think Barbara's
Barbara,
okay.
go ahead.
Yeah, the lights on your patio, do you need to, because it's the same thing as, I guess, your fan, that you don't need approval for that because it's in your lanai? I couldn't hear you, Ken.
Correct, Barbara. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Somebody asked, what's the URL for the UCI Visualizer program? It's simply ucipaints.com.
Let me finish out the chat. So am I correct? Another note will be posted when the work is completed on my home. Work was done, but not sure if all was completed. Is there a note after completion, Claudia?
Yes, there is a note on the garage door that the repair was completed.
Jeffrey Ziv, you're on Mason's computer. You wanted to speak. You can do so now.
Hi, I'm on Jeffrey's computer. It's Faye. I'd like to get something clear. 8 years ago, when the houses were painted, they came in and they painted our enclosed patio. It has windows that we can take out. We emptied everything out of there. It was just like a lanai, except it was a little more closed in. There was no problem whatsoever. And I don't understand why you're saying it can't be done this time, since it has already been done once. You have to open a door to get onto a lanai. So here you have to open a door to come onto this.
Are there walls?
Are you all glass surround?
It's walls too.
Walls and glass.
And it's excuse me, it's plexiglass, which can come out. They won't even be in there when you guys come.
So you're saying there'll only be frames existing?
Right.
Issue.
It should be no problem since
What
they've
do you
already
think,
done it
Claudia?
once.
What do you think?
Okay, if you have blinds on the windows,
No,
if you have air conditioning on the patio, okay, it cannot be done. But if you say you remove all the panels, it becomes a screened-in patio, okay?
Yeah.
Will be done. It can be done, okay? But Raphael is when you post a note on your garage door, give Raphael a call, okay? And Raphael is going to address with you and make sure that either yes or no, it can be done.
the only
Because
thing that we'll
again,
have is our two
again,
fans like all the other. I'm
yes,
sorry.
there's some homeowners in the past that say, oh, I just removed my panels, and we went there, we painted, we broke the blinds on the screen, you know, and it became
no
a liability
blinds.
for us, you know. So
you
when
talking
time comes, just call Raphael and we'll make sure that it gets done.
What kind of blinds are you talking about?
The curtains,
I have no curtains. I
Okay,
have
no
no
problem.
curtains.
Just when you receive the notes on the garage door, just give Raphael or our office a phone call, and Raphael will go over there and make sure that you guys remove the panels like you said, and we'll get it done.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Next question is, just want to know if they will be having another meeting regarding paint colors.
No, this is our final group meeting. Altogether, we had 3 town halls. That's it. So if you have questions or problems, please speak to the task force, the co-chairs, or the 2 liaisons privately, and we will try and assist you.
And then don't forget the meeting on paint was posted to the Bellagio website. So if you didn't see it, you can go back there and see it.
Right.
Nancy writes, we are changing coach lights near garage and in Lanai and a fan in a few weeks. We have ARC permissions. We are in pod F. We are having a new kitchen, so electrician is coming out. Don't want to wait a year and pay him again. Is that okay?
Sure.
Yes, you can take care of that now.
Paint around it.
They're going to mask it all up anyway, so if you change it, they're going to protect it.
Yeah, correct.
Wendy? You
Yeah,
have to
hi,
unmute.
everybody. One more clarification, please. We have the French doors leading from our family room to the lanai. that was put in by the builder instead of a sliding glass door. The back of that, leading from the lanai into the family room, will that be painted?
If it was previously painted, it will be painted again.
And I don't remember if it was or not.
You can
Well,
tell by
we-
looking at it.
Yeah, when we're
okay.
on site, whatever was previously painted, it will be painted again. If
Okay,
the door is factory finished, it will not be painted.
okay, I think it was previously painted. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Sheila writes, when will Pod E get letters for repairs? Sheila, your inspection isn't scheduled till next April. So you're probably looking at May, June sometime.
I think, Davika, you should tell everybody what pods are going to be inspected middle of next year and why.
So they stopped at IB. They're gonna do D, H, E, G, and F come April. And the reason being is we could have had all of the homes inspected now. However, you're not due for painting for 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, a year away from this. So we want to make sure that when you get inspected, we're hopefully catching all the issues, all the fascia damage, because from now to a year, you could have a lot more fascia damage. So that's the reason why we're putting it off till next April, closer to your painting date.
Thank you. Claudio and Wilmer, is there anything you'd like to add that we have not covered in our myriad of questions?
No, I think you guys did doing an amazing job, and I think you guys cover like a 1,000,000%.
Thank you. And Wilmer, anything you want to add?
No, I think pretty much everything is covered. I think we're all good. If anything else come up in our end, we'll let you guys know.
Thank you. And you can,
Okay.
people, you can always ask us questions privately. Just send us an email. We'll be there to help you. As Sheila asked, may she email me? Of course, Sheila, you're an old time Balajian. You may email. Okay. I would like to very much thank our task force and our co-chairs for the wonderful job in setting up this town hall and the wonderful job they've done all along. Especially a special thanks to Claudia and Wilma for participating in this exceptionally informative evening. And Davika for struggling through it all. Thank you, my dear. She is constantly—
No voice tomorrow.
Yeah, she's constantly making forms and revising, so she's done a wonderful job.
You
And
will
so,
work tomorrow.
right. So my
Says you.
co-liaison, Ken, and I would like to thank you all at the top hour of 7 p.m. Or thereabouts. We had 303 listeners. That's 303 homes. Hopefully that means at least 500 people. And that's wonderful, wonderful. And would
Thank you, Joan and Ken, for everything you've done. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay.
And
so-
also,
Yes.
And Davika.
if people want to know the questions, they're all on the website. They're very prominent. It's very easy to get on the website, very easy. All those questions that were asked tonight are all on the website. So you don't have to worry about writing them down or anything like that.
And this whole video will be on the website for anybody to see. Claudio, you may want to go to our website and get a copy of it for posterity for yourself. I think Davika can email it to you.
I can.
I'll
Right.
send it to
okay,
myself.
Right. But
Asking for my
excellent
raise, you
job.
know, 22 years, no raise.
Right.
I'm just kidding.
Sounds like you got issues.
Right. Well, thank you, everyone, and we'll be
Thank
looking
you.
out for any emails, any questions. Hopefully, they'll be answered as soon as we can. We may have to follow up with Claudio or some other professional, but we'll get back to you with the answers to your questions. Thank you so much and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank
Berger.
you.
Thank you, everybody.
Joan,
everybody.
not
Have a great
Mrs.
night.
Thank you,
Berger,
Joan.
Mrs.